The untitled fourth studio album by the English rock band Led Zeppelin, commonly referred to as Led Zeppelin IV, was released on November 8, 1971 on Atlantic Records. Produced by guitarist Jimmy Page, it was recorded between December 1970 and March 1971 at several locations, most prominently the Victorian House Headley Grange. Led Zeppelin III is the third studio album by the English rock band Led Zeppelin. It was recorded between January and August 1970 and released on 5 October by Atlantic Records. Composed largely at a remote cottage in Wales known as Bron-yr Aur, this work represented a maturing of the band's music towards a greater emphasis on folk and acoustic sounds. Led Zeppelin II is the second studio album by the English rock band Led Zeppelin, released in October 1969 on Atlantic Records. Recording sessions for the album took place at several locations in the United Kingdom and North America from January to August 1969. Led Zeppelin is the debut studio album by the English rock band Led Zeppelin. It was recorded in October 1968 at Olympic Studios in London and released on Atlantic Records on January 12, 1969 in the United States and 31 March in the United Kingdom. Ummagumma is a double album by the English progressive rock band Pink Floyd. It was released on October 25, 1969, through Harvest Records. The first disc is a live album that contains part of their normal set list of the time, while the second contains solo compositions by each member of the band recorded as their fourth studio album. The Peppermint Tree The Seeds of Superconsciousness is a 2008 album by the Amorphous Androgynous. It was released on the web page of the Future Sound of London to buy as a digital download and was released on CD on June 2008. Kiss the Crystal Flake is the sixth studio album by the Northern California rock band The Mother Hips. The songs Time We Had and I'm Sick Son of a Grizzly Bear were featured as playable tracks in the music video game Rock Band. Express is the second studio album by English alternative rock band Love and Rockets. It was released on September 15, 1986 on Beggars Banquet Records. An even greater departure from the band members' previous work as Bauhaus, the album's fusion of underground rock with pop stylings can be seen as an early example of alternative rock music, a genre that reached mainstream popularity in the early 1990s. Alice in Ultraland is a 2005 album by experimental electronica group Amorphous Androgynous, which is a side project of the Future Sound of London. Pacific Dust is the seventh studio album by Northern California rock band The Mother Hips. The songs White Falcon Fuzz and Third Floor Story were featured as playable tracks in the music video game Rock Band. Part-Timer Goes Full is the second studio album by Northern California rock band The Mother Hips. Tales of Ephedrina is an ambient, techno album by electronica artist Amorphous Androgynous, better known as the Future Sound of London, which was released in 1993. It was created from material the pair had been working on around the same time as their ambient title Life Forms, while still containing some of the techno feel of Accelerator. Tales of Ephedrina is an ambient, techno album by electronica artist Amorphous Androgynous, better known as the Future Sound of London, which was released in 1993. It was created from material the pair had been working on around the same time as their ambient title Life Forms, while still containing some of the techno feel of Accelerator. U.F. Orbis is the second studio album by ambient house, techno group The Orb. It was released in July 1992 and reached number 1 on the UK album chart. It featured an edited version of The Orb's single Blue Room. Electric Warrior is the sixth studio album by English glam rock act T-Rex. It was released on September 24, 1971 by record label Fly in the UK and Reprise in the US. The album marks a turning point in the band's sound, dispensing with the folk-oriented music of the group's previous albums and pioneering a new, glamier style of rock known as glam rock. Business is a 2002 album by experimental electronica group The Future Sound of London, released under the alias Amorphous Androgynous. An expanded version was released called Business and the Otherness, a 2-disc special edition containing Business on Disc 1 and The Otherness, featuring additional tracks and recordings, on Disc 2. Rising Force is the first studio album by guitarist Yngwie Malmsteen, released on March 5, 1984 through Polydor Records. The album reached number 14 on the Swedish Albums Chart, number 60 on the Billboard 200, and received a nomination for Best Rock Instrumental Performance at the 1986 Grammy Awards. Oribus Terrarum is the third studio album of electronic music artist The Orb, released on Island Records in 1995. Before leaving The Orb, member Chris Weston had begun work on Oribus Terrarum. However, when he left The Orb, German producer Thomas Fehlmann joined as a full-time studio member.